We're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bardic Inspiration. This is Dungeons & Dragons in Shakespearean Style. My name is Adam Hembry. I'll be your DM this evening. And please join me in welcoming the Headless Marys this way, who are here with me today.
Hello.
They have returned after some technical difficulties last week, which resulted in us being unable to upload our stream thanks to some audio problems. However, we hope that those are resolved this week, and we are so glad to have you with us. To that end, we should recap quickly where we were when last we left off, and we're also going to cover the partial session that we weren't able to upload because some important events did happen. But before that session, the Headless Marys had just survived an encounter with a very deadly magical skeletal creature that arose from the depths of the Lewen River, attacked them in the night, along with some skeletal minions who were wielding some very dark magical finger darts, which resulted in some inevitable commentary that I really should have seen coming. Goodness. You know, so please, Headless Marys, help me out. Remind us of what has taken place since you survived that dire encounter with the skeletal river lord.
We're on a boat still. Pretty much.
By far the most important thing is that Buckle and Yori have made up after their prior disagreement.
How did that happen?
Invisible apologies.
Invisible apologies.
It's always easier to apologize when the other person is invisible.
Right, so
I found that in life.
I think what we're trying to say is our boat is invisible. Like we rolled some chaos magic and our boat. But before that, we didn't defeat the skeleton demon. It ran away.
Yeah.
Chalk that as a success.
It's not a failure, surely.
Yeah.
We're still rewarded for
We won the battle, but we haven't won the war yet.
Yeah.
He's probably regrouping somewhere.
That had consequences, which you learned about later in that episode.
Yeah, because further down the river we met some other folk, some frog folk and some lizard folk.
And we learned Avery is super racist against lizards.
Anything that lays eggs, apparently.
Anything that lays eggs. Except for dragons.
Yeah,
Wait, Caliban, do you lay eggs? No,
Me
never mind.
personally, no, I'm a male.
Yeah.
You can't just ask people that, Avery.
Why?
There was a lot of energy, to say the least, and maybe a bit of embarrassment for Avery at the end. I think during that conversation with Goran, the frog person, if memory serves, give a long stare.
If I'm not mistaken as well, we learned from Goran that after our battle with the skeleton monster, because it wasn't defeated, it went back and it attacked its keepers or instructors in some way.
Yeah, Goran told you that there was these people interested in very dark magic and receiving power from this skeletal river lord, but because it was unable to accept the offering, that is to say, you proved to be a difficult offering, it limped its way back over to its summoners. It seems to have had taken out that excess rage on them. And this is Goran's sort of rangers in the woods were able to watch this safely from a distance and report back.
If you can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen.
As they say in necromancy school.
That's the name of the episode.
And then Yori got a present from them.
Yeah, some second skin, right? The crest of the second skin.
I don't know if it was discussed at the time, and I don't think Yori's given out that information.
No. We have heard this because I have said it, but no. Yori just accepted this. But
gift. Didn't we see it, or did he slip it in her pocket?
But you don't know its name or its properties.
No, we don't know that.
Yeah, we don't
I
know
don't
what
think we know it. Any
As long as it doesn't make Yori lay eggs.
Yori will tell us. Yori doesn't keep any secrets. She's an open book. We'll find out eventually.
Yori, why are you collecting a bunch of sticks?
Later in that same episode,
There's already a nest on the boat.
It's true, a crow's nest, which is a de facto Kenku's nest on occasion. After Yori and Buckle made up and had their very awkward invisible conversation, which was joined at several points by invisible Rav and Padraig, there was a bit of an odd encounter in the crow's nest with Caliban and his familiar Peas Blossom sprite. Got into some japes.
Yeah, apparently there's some, probably a sprite, that's just a guess, or some Fey trickster that's throwing water at us. So I have no time for frivolity, so I'm going down under the deck.
So that's where we left off pretty much, was Caliban and Peas Blossom up in the crow's nest. Both of you have been drenched a few times by like basically globules of water thrown from a distance. And then a sort of real thorough drenching has just happened right as we were leaving off. And Caliban did manage to catch a little bit of a flicker in the light. Not so much like seeing a creature, but like seeing secondary evidence of a creature having been there. So we're going to pick up at that point. However, I would like to say that we're not picking up purely at that instant. We were actually backtracking just slightly.
Flashback.
Just the tiniest bit. Not even a flashback. More of meanwhile. So as this is unfolding with Caliban in the top, there is something else going on at deck level.
It's Landra. It's Landra, I know it.
Where I believe Yori is driving, as Barwin has taken a nap. Yori, having just had this sort of heart-to-heart with Buckle and awkward sort of exchanges with Padraig and Rav, well, you are at the wheel, and you notice something rather strange, which is that as you have experienced before, when you wield the chaos magic of the Ship of Fools, the grain of the wood becomes more fluid, and it forms sort of patterns and shapes, and occasionally even vulgar comics featuring Rav, depending on if Rav has insulted the ship that day. This is the sort of thing that's happened a few times. You notice that this is beginning to happen again. But rather than the familiar donkey's head shape of the figurehead coming through to harangue you or to make faces, there is a continuous swirl in the grain, and the grain begins to lose its black and dark brown texture of the dark wood that composes it. It begins to shimmer slightly until those russet browns become red, and the black of the whorls of the wood begin to brighten till they become gold. And they're moving in kind of whorls and loops and whirls, until eventually they coalesce into a small point in the middle of the circle, and then suddenly burst outwards, moving through the grains of the woods like water through so many tunnels, and highlighting them all in gold backgrounds of a deep red. And then from the center of that, a small figure emerges. You've seen Peas Blossom before, so this creature would be familiar to you. She is about the same size, but dressed very differently. Wearing what would be best described as light leather armor, and wielding a kind of long bow and a long sword at her hip. A small sprite steps through those whirls, almost as though a part of them at first. But then, almost like if you were to push your face up against like felt or something that would leave a relief like that, She steps through and then into
Horrifying.
reality. At first, it's certainly a bit uncanny watching the wood move like that. But the creature emerges through it, and it's much more like someone coming up through water. Probably the best way to describe this. And as she emerges, she sort of shakes her head and then moves her back so that gossamer wings also shake as though shedding droplets of water. And then she flutters up and sits on the wheel directly in front of you.
So you're gonna say she sat on my shoulder or something?
No, but I love how uncomfortable that idea just made you. She is looking straight at you, Yori, and says, "Well met, Yori Swiftwhistle."
Hello.
Looks side to side, then up, back at you. Says, "I have been waiting some time to meet thee."
Oh, I hate that. Why?
"I have a gift for thee."
Is anyone else on deck?
Why do you get all the presents?
I'm assuming that Yori takes a quick look around just then to take stock of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
When you look around, it's kind of strange. The world around you looks exactly as it did last time you were looking up and driving. The invisible ship that you're standing on, the sort of wake in the water below you. But nothing seems to be moving. There's still the same familiar dip in the water, but there is no change in its surface. The trees and everything to the side of the boat are just where they were. They're not passing you by.
You have a gift for me?
Dost thou want to know what it is?
Honestly, not really.
Oh. Why, that is not very...
I don't know. Look, I don't trust things that come out of wood and then sit on this wheel in front of me and just don't introduce themselves. Just offer me a gift. Seems sus.
I did forget me. Quite literally. My name is Winkin.
You don't mind. Look,
and she sort of does a little bit of a bow and takes the little helm that she's wearing and sort of tips it. And as she does, like a shock of auburn hair shoots out of it a bit, as though it was being just barely contained in place. And it's like really dense curls of it that sort of push out to the sides and really sort of contrast the sort of goldenrod brown of her skin. And then she sort of makes a production of putting it back in place.
Winkin, was it?
That is correct.
How do you know my name?
Oh, I do know so much about thee.
How?
Why, I did listen to my lady when she spoke of thee.
Oh. Great.
Thou dost not know of whom I speak, dost thou?
I've got a fair idea.
Art thou sure 'tis not a fairy idea? That were a joke, Yori Swiftwhistle.
No, I got that.
Oh,
I got that you think it's a joke, but to me it's heart-stoppingly terrifying.
Oh. I do regret me I have installed fear in thee. It is not my intention.
Maybe don't come out of wood next time then.
Oh.
That's really unsettling. Just so you know.
I shall have to think me a better way to emerge from the fairy ring thou hast just sailed into. Perhaps you should sail into a different one. Or perhaps sail a different ship.
Explain yourself.
You did this ship receive from Oberon, the fairy king of the spring court. Is not so? Your friend.
I don't know. I don't recall. Yes, actually, I just remembered.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
I serve the lady, Queen Titania of the Autumn Court.
And do her and Oberon get on?
They do get on to many things, and into many things, and around many things, and most of them be trouble. I must say it is no treason against either to say as much. Why, there are eons when they are never to be torn in twain. There are, it seems, eternities when they can be naught but enemies.
And so I have come between them. Is that what's happening here?
Oh, you? Just you, Yori Swiftwhistle, nay. Oh, you are involved, as are all of your friends, some more than others. But in any case, I have been withholding this gift from thee, and I cannot hold for much longer. Here. And then Winkin puts a hand down on either side of the wheel, and from her hands, the golden threads that are sort of filling the center of the wheel extend out to the two handles of this boat where your hands are.
Mm-hmm.
And then Winkin says, "Look inside thyself, Yori Swiftwhistle. That thing you are afraid of. It can be your greatest gift if you let it." And you can feel heat suddenly begin to form palms of your hands, Yori, where the golden threads in that ship's grain begin to touch your skin. It is a very familiar feeling, but this time it is not coming from inside, but from outside, from the ship. You have a choice. You can lean in to this and sort of accept the connection that's being offered to you through this wheel, or you can resist it.
Oh, I'm gonna lean in.
Okay. In that case, Yori, what you feel is like the moment when you're holding your foot above a hot bath, but you haven't touched it yet. And then you decide to plunge your foot in. And this wave of heat moves through your hands and up your arms, down your spine and all the way to your toes. And it is warm. And you can smell for a moment spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, a kind of sweetness and spiciness. The taste of mulled wine and cloves, and a sweetness. And then just like that, you can feel that burst of chaos magic that you usually do when you spin the wheel, that emanation from your body out to the ship, but this time you're connected to it. You can feel something almost like control over the way that it moves. Winkin says, "Next time thou doth spin the wheel thrice, methinks you shall find the effects more nice." She giggles to herself a little bit. "I do hope you like this gift." Right at that moment, Caliban begins descending grumpily from the crow's nest, and the world around you suddenly seems to engage. The trees are moving, the water is making noise around you. You can feel suddenly the wind hitting your face again. The ship's wheel looks normal. There is no Winkin sitting on the wheel in front of you.
Oh, I'm spinning that wheel immediately.
Okay.
In the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
So yeah, give it a go. Spin that wheel
Is
with
that
your shins.
D10?
It is. So what I'll say, if you are doing this, Yori, pulling the wheel backward, you can feel that, strangely, unlike other times when you've had to wait until the next dawn of the day to do this, it seems to slide into position, ready to be spun. If you're going to spin it before you roll a d10, I have some information to give you.
Oh.
Yep. Your ship has received an upgrade. As a result,
we've all upgraded as well.
As a result, Yori, this time when you spin the wheel, you can use your magic to affect the outcome. What I mean by that is there are 10 options on the table that you roll. For every spell slot that you consume, that you sort of give to the cause, you can remove one option from that table.
Removing invisibility.
You can spin just one spell slot if you like, or you can burn multiple if you want that number to go higher. If you burn spell slots higher than one, for example, a second level spell slot, that counts as 2 options from the table.
Right.
So
yeah,
you what this plays out as narratively is you can decide how much of this energy in you're willing to put into that chaos.
What are all of the options again?
You
double speed. You can carry 20 medium creatures instead of 10.
So double
you
capacity.
The ship loudly insults creatures on board periodically. The ship's figurehead can breathe a 30-foot cone of flame as an action. All creatures take a -5 penalty to wisdom-based ability checks while on board. Dungeon Master's choice. The ship is invisible, as are all crew and objects while aboard it. The ship is under the effects of a blink spell anytime it comes under attack. The ship's appearance, but not size or basic ship shape, can be changed at will by whoever is at the helm. And the ship can fly.
So,
I didn't know we had a flying one.
Yeah,
That's
you haven't rolled a
awesome.
10 yet.
How high?
Just says a fly speed, so I
your
suppose you
ship's
can
normal
go.
speed. Yeah, it's more about time rather than altitude. So as high as you have time.
Okay, I'm gonna burn 2 second level spell slots.
That's gonna take 4 options.
I'm gonna
off the
remove
menu.
invisibility. Gonna remove invisibility. The -5 wisdom saves.
The 20 medium creatures.
Yeah, the 20 medium creatures. And what else do you think?
Insults?
Yeah, the insult.
That could still be fun though.
I was gonna say,
I think it's fun.
Maybe Dungeon Master's choice.
No, I
No,
kind
I
of
like
want
that.
that though.
Is Dungeon Master's choice the Dungeon Master choosing from the list, or is it
No.
like you can?
Oh, I don't know.
Or is it random? Yeah.
Can you do whatever you want?
There's exactly one way to find that out.
Will the DM's choice? Will the DM's choice be to make us level up?
I think you should remove all of them except Dungeon Master's choice.
That's what I wanted to do, but I don't have enough spell slots. So I also take away the ship breathing fire.
Okay. Now, let me
Okay.
just make
So
sure
you're-
I've got this.
Okay.
So there's I think this will be the quickest way, because I considered making modified versions for all the possible things you can remove, but the way we'll do it is you can roll a d10. You might have to roll a few times. If you hit one of the ones you've removed, just re-roll, and we'll take whichever one is the first one that's available on your list.
Question.
There is the ship's appearance one that's kind of dropped. Like, I mean, we might use it, but it still is a basic. It's so it can be changed at will to anything. Is that right? Doesn't need to be like a ship.
It needs
So it
to
could be
its
like a
ship-
large horse
I mean, as long as it keeps its ship
that's
shape.
swimming.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, you
So
can
it's
be
a
creative
ship.
here. Like you can if you can pitch that this thing is still a ship but has a very different appearance in some way, that's fine too.
Yeah.
You want to
Okay.
have a ship that has horse leg appendages that move in the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, like
Well, that
it's
was
swimming.
just the first.
Are
Yeah,
we
yeah.
getting rid of these permanently or just for
No,
this roll?
No, it's for the day.
Oh, then you can get rid of insult. I don't mind.
Can horses swim?
I mean, I've already chosen my 4.
Wow.
Yeah,
And,
Right?
you're good to
Yeah.
go. You're taking invisibility, the wisdom penalty, capacity, and fire breathing. So you can roll a d10. And
where does the fire breath come out of? The front or the back?
The front.
you've never gotten it?
So
Something
when it brings fire, does it mean we go backwards?
To have the
Ooh.
donkey.
I think
What?
it's more just
It's a
to
weapon.
it's a defense mechanism.
Wouldn't it like? Oh yeah, okay. I'm just
Yeah,
thinking.
it's not a booster. It's more of a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like because we're in a chase, it doesn't really like. But
Yeah.
we're being chased.
Yeah.
Unless
I
they
really hope nothing
somehow
comes at us
cut
from the
us off
front.
at the pass. Yeah.
We've still
Okay.
got Alda. We need flame breath.
So Yori, you ready to roll that
Wow.
d10?
That's the insult.
Which is the
Yeah,
exact
roll
same.
again. Wait, did you get rid of that one?
No.
No, I didn't.
Uh,
'Cause I thought it was-
Wherever, Sorry.
You go, Mel.
Wherever Rav is, he sits bolt upright.
Which you all would, because as Yori burns, like, spins this magic, and you can feel the magic pouring from your hands, Yori, into the wheel, like making the wheel glow for a moment as you're spinning. The ship, which was invisible, is invisible no more. Padraig, feeling ratty as you have been in your cabin and wandering around trying to stop throwing up, suddenly there is ground beneath your feet. And Caliban, as you're climbing down to go below decks to see what's happening, you can see the rungs of the ladder in front of you. Suddenly the ship is visible. And in the front, a loud voice shouts from the figurehead, "Well, if thou wert going to buzz me that way, you could have at least picked something that was going to go better for thee. Thou lily-livered, hamstrung minion, thou hast no more wit in thee than I in my tail, and thou hast yet to discourse with my tail."
I think
Rav.
Rav already did that.
Rav sprints to the front of the boat. By the way, he's entirely naked.
Yeah, you haven't told us that he put his clothes back on yet.
No, of course not. Thou wouldst discourse on tales, would thee? For I have many to give thee, none of which as entailing of adventures as mine.
Thou hast a shorter tail than any tail that thy frail frame can conjure. Forward, backward, and again, I shall have no more of thee, for thou dost like the pain. And then the ship's head goes inanimate for a moment. Seems to be totally silent. But behind Rav, on the floor, like the floorboards, there is suddenly a giant canvas of ship drawing, and it is a giant portrait of Rav. But instead of Rav's head on it, there is a sort of changing kaleidoscope of different animal heads: a rat, and then a pig, and then a hippo, and then a giraffe. And then Rav's arms are kind of moving up and down like this. And then a sign conjures itself into one of this ship Rav's hands and says, "Unloved." All of this is happening silently.
Cuts to the quick.
Rav doesn't see it.
Rav's got a very high passive perception, but Rav can choose to ignore it. If Rav would prefer to.
Rav doesn't see it. He kind of stares at the inanimate head, purposefully doesn't look down at the floor and strides off away. And he wipes one single tear.
I hope you feel happy, Adam.
Padraig runs after Ravelor. I think Padraig was on deck, so you would have seen it.
Yeah.
Padraig runs after Ravelor and is like, Ravelor, where's thou going? With such despair. Surely an ass just like that is no match for thee.
'Tis true, Padraig. I am yet to meet an ass that is a match for me. Yet 'tis the first ass that I liked not upon meeting it.
Ravelor, then why doesn't thou match ass, for thou ass is exposed? Expose this one for the weak, insult-making ass that it is. For I have seen you spin many a tale, many a insult, and broken many a heart. Surely this wooden donkey is no match for your sharp tongue.
Aye, 'tis true that this sharp tongue did pierce and penetrate of once. But I shall tell thee this, Padraig. Rav puts a hand on his shoulder. What I and this ship do have in common, we have both broken hearts. And he runs away crying.
Padraig turns and looks to that ass. Hey, you!
Oh no, he's no match for the ship.
Padraig rolls up his sleeves. Thou art a splinter. Yeah.
Good call.
What?
I am not.
Is that the best that you have? Just 2 words? You steak, and not a steak of meat, a steak of wood that I have plowed in vampires, for thou art nothing to me. You bark-faced ass.
Bark-faced.
Aye. Must I spell it out for thee? Wood comes from trees. Bark is on trees. It's funny when I don't explain it.
I may never have my true face again.
Does that mean I win?
Aye. Take this, furry beast, since you have wounded me. Whatever heart thou couldst pierce with thy stake, well, it is forever entombed inside a tree. Then the picture on the ground behind you of Rav fades. And for the moment at least, the figurehead of the donkey, with its mouth open and tongue unfurled, still quiet.
Padraig runs downstairs to Rav's door. Ravelor, art thou there?
Aye, thou might enter if thou wouldst. If Padraig enters, does Padraig enter?
No, it's just outside your door.
Okay, because Rav is on the ground, just face down. Just spread eagle, but face down.
Ravelor, I know thou art hurting, but worry not, for I may not be as sharp-witted as thee, and my tongue may be blunter than my staff, but I would back thee into any fight, be it a fight with vampires, be it a skeleton that surfs, be it a wooden ship that has a donkey that speaks. I would back thee. Always. So take your time and do what thou needs. But know that we need you always. Clothed, preferably. I'll leave thee now, but know that you have inspired me, and I have beaten your foe. I'll go now.
What dost thou mean, thou hast beaten my foe?
By this point, Padraig's gone back into his cabin and started to try to make a potion again.
Okay.
Really inspired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last time, Padraig was not very successful. If you'd like to,
enter the montage.
If you'd like to, Padraig, you can make a crafting check. So roll a d20, add your proficiency and wisdom modifier.
Wisdom modifier.
So that was only +3. Did you add your proficiency as well?
What's my
So
proficiency?
proficiency is probably at least another plus.
Oh yeah, it's not +3.
So is that a 15?
That's a 15.
Okay. Well, you've got your list of potions that you are able to make. You did not specify which one you were going for.
It wasn't a difficult one, if that helps.
Yeah, well, I hope it does. Because 15 is a pretty moderate DC. So.
Do I need to tell you which one I made?
It would be helpful in future to be like, I'm going to make this one, and here's what I've got to get, because you've got this one in front of you.
Oh, right. Well, the DC was 10, so...
Okay. What potion is Padraig working on?
Padraig is working on the glow potion.
Okay, good to know. And Padraig's doing well with it. Seem to have gotten some mojo back from this morning. So that's what Padraig's going to be up to for a while down in his cabin. It was early morning when you encountered Gorin, and then this whole bit of business seems to have taken place. So we're moving on in the day. But for those of you who were just milling about, Barwin's going to be resting for a little while longer. What about Avery? Avery, what have you been getting up to this morning?
So, Avery was actually up on the deck, and she was just relaxing and writing in her journal and doing a bit of self-reflection on her biases. And she saw Rav run away crying, and so I want to sneak a note under Rav's door, but I don't want Rav to know that it came from Avery.
Okay, you are welcome to do that. So I'm assuming you've written the note already while journaling and stuff. Okay, you can make a stealth check, which will be contested against Rav's passive perception.
Ooh.
This is really a strength against strength matchup as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, beat it by 1. I'm pretty sure is what that means. Yep. Rav's passive perception being a 19. Okay. So Avery, you will manage to slink your way down at just the right time. No one's paying attention. You just sort of drift into the shadows. And do you slide it under the door?
Yeah, I slide it under the door.
Okay.
And the note says, "You are loved. - your secret admirer. XOXO." And then she runs away.
Rav, a little while after, while you're face down thinking about things, for a moment you think you might have heard something, like a rustle of paper, but it was like not registering. Eventually you do roll over and see that your ears weren't deceiving you. That note is playing there for you.
Rav has been lying face down for a while. Then he did a little bit of what he likes to call cry wanking. And having finished that,
I regret everything.
Love that he's got a name for it, by the way. Like, it happens often enough.
oh yeah, it's the best. Having finished that, he kind of like sets the mirror aside and stands up and stretches. The mirror was for the cry wanking, just so you know. And he finds the note and he opens it and reads it. Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Yori. What?
Say mirror. Put
Yes.
the mirror away.
How else are you supposed
I
to
hate it.
cry wank?
I just fucking cry wink.
I don't
so
understand
much
what's
sad.
It's just a lot. Yep.
What's confusing here? Do you want me to explain the specifics of cry wanking?
No, thank you.
I think we get the picture.
I think our audience wants this. I think this is fun, Fiona.
So vividly.
Anyways,
We need a glossary, you know?
It's going
I
straight
think
to the
cry
show
wanks
Bible.
kind of speaks for itself.
yeah, I thought it was obvious. But
Which
apparently
one
not.
comes first? Which
The choice of words, John Mark.
It's a chicken or egg.
Yeah, so
Anyways.
that's happened. Rav's got the note.
Yes. So he picks it up and then he goes sprinting off to the helm of the ship where Yori is.
Yeah, I
And
knew
he
this was
plants
coming.
a big kiss on Yori's mouth.
So
No.
the way that this unfolds.
I think he tries
Yeah,
to.
yeah. So Rav might have this intention, but the way this will unfold will depend entirely on Yori. So, Yori, everything is visible again. Rav, have you put clothes on?
I think his kiss is more likely to succeed if so. So let's say yes.
Okay, yeah. So, well, I mean, at the very least, it makes a difference in presentation. So, Rav, now clothed, comes up the stairs and then approaches you, Yori. I think we can probably all imagine how Rav's looking, but Mel, tell us, like, what, when coming up to do this, what's Rav's body language? What's his face like?
So he's probably still a little tear stained, but he's like looking a little like relaxed. His hair's like disheveled, like he just woke up from a nap. And he has full sprinted, so he's probably a little sweaty, a little clammy. And when he sees Yori, he cries out as he's running towards her, "My love, I knew thou didst feel the same." And then he just puckers up like he's coming in for the kill. He's just like,
So that is happening. How is Yori responding to this situation?
Honestly, I think it's going to depend on how fast Rav is, because I think Yori is in total shock. Because Rav's called out, "My love, I feel the same way."
Yep.
I would say Yuri's very confused, but probably her training's going to kick into gear. And she's going to block that. But try to do it gently.
Okay, so she puts a hand to Rav's face quickly, but as gently as able. Rav, Yori's version of as gently as able is probably a few notches above gentle. So you get a halfling hand to the face, just like holding you firmly at bay as you close in for that, and a very confused looking Yori on the other side of that hand. What happens next?
sorry,
Could
you broke up a little. Did you say
yeah, everything froze
Yori
a bit. I think
just
my
now?
internet, which is sorry. So you're leaning in. You get a hand, Yori's hand to your face, and a very confused looking Yori on the other side. how does Rav react to that having happened? What unfolds after that?
Rav goes, "Be not shy, my love, for I did read thy note. Needst thou a door and a pen and parchment between us to tell me thine real feelings?"
What note? I have been driving the ship this whole time. I did not leave our note.
Thou hast been driving more than the ship. Thou hast been driving mine heart. And he tries to peel her hand away and plant a kiss on top of it.
On top of her hand?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you go with that, Yori?
That happens, I guess, because Yori's just so confused. And also because Rav looks a bit disheveled, and I imagine that's a little bit enticing.
Look, if I had known the sympathy card worked so well, I would have been playing this.
Yeah.
I mean, up until now, you basically tried insulting Yori.
Aye, for I did use the love language I knew best. Rav tries to start like kissing up her arm, and the whole while going, "I knew thou didst love me, for I did love thee."
What Yori do with that?
I think Yori definitely pushes Rav a couple of feet away at this point. Thou dost not love me, or thou hast not acted as though thou dost. I feel that this night has been most confusing, and I should like to end my shift soon.
Well,
Wouldst thou refrain from speaking to me any further?
I shall do all that thou wouldst bid of me and more. And then he like mimes closing up his mouth with string, but he mimes it for like so long in such minute detail, like including the like excruciating pain of like a needle going through lip flesh. It's just like,
Can you show us?
he's like this. First he spends like 5 minutes trying to thread the fake needle. He gets like really frustrated about it. And then he lands it, and then he has to really like hype himself up to get the first needle through the lip. Like he's like, I can't do it.
Surely this needs a performance check.
This is like a durational piece at this point. In fact,
She doesn't.
please.
You do have the actor feat, right?
Rav has the actor feat. Make a performance check with advantage. Well, this is, you're not impersonating someone, so make a performance check. You're already good at those.
Okay.
If Rav had seen someone do this before, I would say you could have advantage, but this seems very unlikely.
Rav's never seen someone stitch their own mouth.
I hope not. 13. Okay, this is like,
I really wanted to.
Yeah, I thought it was a 2.
it's weird, Yori. Like it's as weird as it sounded. Just in, like,
Really?
yeah, like it's hard to tell what's happening. Has something started? Is a thing happening here, or is Rav doing something else that has nothing to do with you? It's pretty hard to tell.
Real indie theater.
Yeah. This is like a fringe festival show that you didn't know was happening, and you're in the hallway with it.
From year 10 students.
Yeah, you didn't realize you were a part of this, and now you are. But yeah, you are at the wheel.
Quite well.
And Rav goes to answer, but he can't talk, so he's like,
I knew thou dost jest with me when thou didst say that I loved me. I do not take kindly to such jests intended to humiliate myself. wouldst thou not go below deck and leave me to sail?
If thou wouldst have me do it, I shall. But permit me to leave thee with the writing of thine own hands. And he hands her the note, and he strides off.
Where's Avery right this minute?
She's trying to catch a fish.
Yes, she is.
Just playing it cool, casting over the side of the ship, pretending like none of this is transpiring.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Avery.
Can I roll to see if I catch one?
You can make a survival check. Yep.
I imagine from the helm of the ship, Yori would have a pretty good vantage point to see people going below deck and up above, right?
Yeah, the entrance.
So she probably would have. Sorry.
Yeah, the entrance is right behind the wheel, so people would cross behind you. But if you're talking about having noticed Avery rolled a 20 on that stealth check. So,
So I would have seen her.
Yeah. Well, do you have a passive above 20?
I've got 24.
Yep, you would have. Caliban would have been across Avery's movements during that time, but Caliban's probably the only one.
But I also don't care, so...
Can I say that this whole time, Buckle has been under a table, which is where he goes when the ship turns invisible. And once the ship became visible again, he tried to get out, heard the ship insulting someone, went back under the table, and saw the procession of Padraig and Avery coming to Rav's door.
Yeah, just like legs going by you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Buckle, which means you would see... Sorry, what were you about to say?
Oh, Buckle's just like, why that man of all men to have so many suitors?
It's kind of like a real Scooby-Doo Moliere farce situation, like people going out the doors
So
in front of you.
Buckle still saw Avery even with the 20 stealth?
Buckle probably wouldn't have seen Avery, and the way that works out, sort of narratively speaking, is that Buckle might have just not been staring out that direction at a table at that point, and Avery drifted by so quickly that it made no sound that it wouldn't have been remarkable. But everybody else moving by just didn't make any effort to be quiet. So. You would have also noticed, Buckle, right as when we're tuning in now and Rav is storming off downstairs, there is a intense scrabbling sound and a bit of a whump near the bottom of the stairs near you, and pelting past your table with reckless abandon is the golden form of Alda, who is moving with a purpose. And Rav is not far behind. Rav, depending on the nature of your distraught state, you might choose to take note of this or not, but you would definitely hear the sound of Alda scrambling in front of you. Barwin, Alda comes bursting into your cabin and hurriedly closes the door with her head behind her, loudly enough certainly to wake you. And you can hear Rav walking by outside as well. And Alda turns and looks at you, Barwin, says, "Thou art a cheat."
What?
"I know not how thou hast done it, Barwin, but thou hast pulled my prank with thine eyes closed before I did have chance to do so."
Alda, I assure thee, I have done no such thing.
"What magic spell was it that thou hast used what was it?"
Nothing. I have been sleeping truly, Alda. I would not lie to thee.
"What magic potion were it that you gave or took thyself that you did convince Ravelor that Yori was straight in love with him?"
I assure you, Alda, I did no such thing. It made no such potion. Perhaps she actually is in love, for which was not of my doing. Maybe I have been reading it wrong. How art thou convinced this is what has happened?
Make a persuasion check, Barwin.
Oh, it's just so bad.
You're not lying, but this is a matter of how can you convince Alda that you're not lying?
Yeah. Okay.
during last session, for context, one of the things that happened in the background was Barwin and Alda made a
Oh
no.
Oh no!
I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't even know that was possible.
What a good time to
Wow.
say thank you to Matthew Day, who created Rollcast and our virtual dice rolling platform for this moment.
The most naive NPC ever.
Barwin,
I'm not
convinced.
Barwin and
And
Alda
it's
made a
also-
deal that they would prank Rav together, and Alda came up with the plan to convince Rav that Yori said she was in love with him, and Alda is just narrowing her eyes, staring at you. I know not how thou didst it, and I see thou wilt not tell me, but understand, it be on.
No. Oh.
And she turns around and then fumbles with the knob with her teeth, which is not designed for her to do it, and then like angrily like snorts some smoke and then rips it open and goes out and scrabbles down the hallway towards her usual sleeping space.
Man, Brenna's got a nemesis.
Freaking dragon.
Barwin, he uses Thaumaturgy to slam the door shut and then just pulls her knees to her chest and thinks.
Barwin. When did Barwin go to bed, roughly? Like during the night or first thing?
I think it must have been first thing in the morning. She definitely wasn't there for the.
Yeah, you weren't there for the. So Barwin is pretty close, I would say, to the end of her long rest. You can probably just go ahead and click through, and if you're just lying there having a think for a bit, that can round out the end of it that way.
Awesome.
Can I check? Did Avery catch a fish?
You rolled a 16, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna take some
In
time.
a way, she did.
She got something. Her bait was taken. After a while, you do get a nibble, and then you have to bring the line up a few times and realize that you've had the bait on in such a way that it's kind of easy to get stolen. So you have to reattach bait, but you eventually do get a bite, and then pull up a sort of sizable Lewen River trout, this silvery fish that has sort of brown and a sort of rusty red sheen to it. And it's a pretty tough fight for a little bit, and Avery's not super strong. But yeah, you managed to pull it over the board deck.
I put it in my pocket.
And it's probably a bit big
For
for
later.
a pocket, but yeah, you can definitely like
Okay.
strap it to your belt or something like that once
yeah.
you've taken care of it.
Yeah.
Buckle goes up on deck and talks to Yori, and he makes sure no one except Yori can hear him. And Buckle's like, I did just witness Padraig proclaim his love for Avalor outside his door. He whispered sweet nothings while the door was closed.
I love this so much.
Indeed, did he?
Aye.
And how did Ravelor react?
The door was closed. Avalor did not come out.
It's most strange.
Aye.
Dost thou think Ravelor feels the same way?
I do not know. I was shocked at the thought of the pairing, but I do not know how Avalor feels about it.
Didst thou see anything else? Once
No.
Ravelor did depart?
Yori, I was expecting a different reaction from thee. I was
What did thou
expecting
expect
perhaps
from me?
amusement, not
Oh, of course. How funny. Padraig does love Ravelor. What crazy place we did live in.
I am a magic boat. 'Tis crazy.
So strange. Buckle, I have been piloting this ship for many hours now, so I'm sorry if I am slow to react. It is quite amusing that Padraig did so declare his love,
Aye.
because 'tis a strange match.
I concur.
But did Ravelar not react at all?
No, the door was closed, as I said several times before.
But not verbally?
No, it was too far away. I couldn't make out exactly what words were said, but tonally, it was certainly romantic.
In what way? Describe it in more detail to me.
Padraig did have his hand up to the door, and
How? Show me.
Yori. What?
Just
why
so I
dost
can
thou-
get the full picture.
Okay,
of the
Buckle does it.
situation.
Buckle's like.
Oh, sure. He doesn't have to do a performance check.
I could if you want.
It's one of those things where it's like, is Buckle trying hard for this and really wants
No.
to capture it? Then yeah, what you're seeing is what you're getting here. I got the impression Rav really wanted to nail this whole 13-minute immersive lip sewing.
Look, he's eager to please.
Buckle, I did not tell thou. Earlier tonight, a fairy came out of the wood. And it spoke to me. I know this sounds crazy.
Nothing about this ridiculous ship surprises me.
And the fairy was sent from the Queen of the Fairies, Titania. Because remember, we got the ship from the King of the Fairies.
Oh, were we there for that? When the ship was obtained?
We were there,
Oh.
I think.
You
Were we not?
You joined pretty much right when that happened, and that was like when you
Right.
rejoined with the party. So
Yeah.
there's a lot
It
of
was in the forest,
you didn't have
right?
a lot of context
Oh,
for what was happening, but yeah.
Oh, when that ukulele was destroyed.
Anyway, the fairy did give me more control over the chaos magic of the ship. It sort of came to naught and kind of just reinforced my rule of not trusting fairies.
Aye. Do you still have this power over the ship?
I believe so.
Perhaps we could use it to, move the ship faster towards our goal.
What is our goal?
Okay, I've been thinking about this. From what I have gathered, we are either returning Alda, or we are living with Alda from henceforth as an adopted family. Perhaps Caliban knows.
Caliban?
I think
He's not
Caliban
there.
went below decks, yeah. What's Caliban up to down there?
Business?
Caliban is he was drying off first of all, but he's just kind of he's probably been talking to Peas Blossom about maybe the autumnal court. And basically I'd be just like picking his brain a little bit.
Okay, we can cut over to that conversation.
Yeah, if you feel like this one's
Sure.
finished.
What
Yeah.
we can come back to Yori and Buckle as well. If, yes.
At some point, Avery wants to sneak back downstairs.
Okay. Without being
Yeah,
noticed.
just whenever.
Specifically to,
Yeah.
to sneak. Okay, roll a stealth check.
Okay.
It's easy.
So, Peas Blossom is like running his spare jerkin through his wet, shaggy hair, and then shaking. 24. Oh, Avery
Plus
handily
19
gets
to
by.
stealth.
Well, it's meant to be 9, sorry.
Oh,
You can.
okay. Far out.
What was the actual total then? Something much less.
It wasn't.
15 or something.
So
like
it's 14.
that? Okay. Not so sneaky this time, Avery, I'm afraid. It's like Buckle and Yori probably won't notice you. Most of the people who are downstairs, if they're like interested, will maybe note a few footsteps of you passing. That's where the passively perceptive folk are. Caliban definitely does when you get downstairs. It is as I did say to thee, Master. There's of the autumnal court. There is Queen Titania, who was at times the consort of King Oberon, at times a bitter rival. Is difficult to understand.
Well, I do find it interesting that two monarchs would hold different courts. It is not the way of things in our world, is it not?
Oh, nay, well, in thy world, sometimes it is the case that one monarch may take another for their spouse, and so join their powers. Aye. Well, so it can be in the Twilight world, where you call my home as well. Although, much like alliances and marriages in thy world, theirs is impermanent. It hath not the steadfastness of stone, though it can outlive some stones. It is fickle, like spring rain. They are so alike, and yet too alike, methinks.
Yes. I wonder, Peas Blossom, do the two courts ever come to blows in a most violent sense, or is it more wars of words and slights?
It is mostly the latter that thou hath said, but not always. There have been times when true blood and vigor did inflame the arms of Fey-kind against each other. And the Fey wild is vast, and there are many within it, and not all always accountable to their liege lords. There are other creatures there as well. There be times when the spring and autumn can together combine for an enemy common. There or elsewise.
Sportum. Is that what you would call it? Is that...
Sportum.
Sportum.
Tis better than alting.
Yeah.
I like
thought
it.
So.
Well, if you think there be the solstice, is the solstice? Nay, 'tis the equinox in the spring and autumn. Why, they be like twins. And twins at birth, so alike and yet also so distinct they be.
And do you have friends in the autumn court, my friend?
Oh. I keep most loyal to the spring court crown.
You have something to say.
What, nay? Why dost thou
You
think
do.
that?
I see it
Master.
upon your cheeky
Why,
cheeks.
Thou can speak into my mind, it doth not mean thou can read into it yet. Though thou
I
art
can
very
read your
powerful.
disposition.
What position is my dis in?
Wow. Displayed before us all.
Is a game thou art playing with me.
Forsooth.
Why, now my disposition is cross, for thou art aright. Can ne'er keep a secret from thee. I have had friends who did their allegiances owe, for we are not so different, and there are such delights as all from spring and autumn find, in kind. And in festivals past, when our two courts did meet, under less than melancholy circumstance, well, I did there at such occasion greet my friends with a fairy dance.
Dost thou have a family, Peace Blossom? What's that? Tell me about them.
I will. I were born in the flower that bears my name, tended by honeyed bees and mites. For I wert so tiny I could ride upon their backs and taste with them springtime delights. My mother, she did off the form of a sparrow take. So Oberon would delight her tricks, subtle winged flight. My father, there are many who have been. There are many who have fallen in service to the Spring Lord. And my father is such a one. He was brave.
I'm sure he was as brave as you are, my friend.
You were much braver than I.
Ah, I will take no such negative talk. You've proved yourself most valiant. Many a time.
I believe so.
I would not keep any familiar by my side.
I thank thee, master. I will continue to be as brave as I can be in thy service. And I shall go and speak my mind to whatever creature it was that doused us so. And then Peas Blossom, determinedly pops off, leaving some flecks of green and gold behind. Bit of dust slowly moving down to the ground in his wake. And like a green and gold streak pulses through the air, up the stairs, and out, whipping over your shoulder, Yori, in between you and Buckle, and then up the crow's nest in a kind of spiraling line, no longer invisible as he usually is. And you can hear little shouts coming from above. Out, you blackguard! Show thyself, if thou hast means and steel to warrant thy insolent tongue. Yeah, Blossom.
Lovely.
During this, can Buckle look up and be like, Caliban,
Aye?
where are we going?
Why, we are 3 days sail from our destination, in which we will deliver our package, being older, to her home. But there we will probably seek more information, for we have heard of a white dragon that's on its way. And mayhap where we deliver, we may find more information about said thing.
Right.
I don't know how I communicated any of that.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you how you did that, because Peas Blossom is over there screaming.
That is in my head, and then I just say, "We're going that way." Stabber.
Thank you. And then I turn to Yori and I'm like, perhaps Barwin knows.
And at this time, Barwin, you would have finished your rest if you wanted to emerge.
She's gonna walk up to the deck, but she's really terrified that After's gonna do something. She's as she's going, she's any of the open cabin doors, she's using someone who to shut them really quickly.
So you hear this
and then she
moves
it. Yeah, and then she runs past once they're shut, and then looks back and goes back up to the top again. Yeah. Sorry. Then watch is over. Hast thou seen Alda by chance?
No, not on deck.
Art thou quite sure?
We have not seen Alda. at all.
Did we see Avery just then go
Um,
downstairs?
Because you were chatting, and I'm pretty sure your passives are lower than 14. So because Avery was
Yeah.
sneaking, you would have known Avery was up there catching a fish, and then that suddenly a little while later, when you were finished talking, she wasn't there anymore.
Okay. We did not see anyone but yourself use the stairs.
Did thou rest well?
Yes, I did. I am surprised that we are not invisible anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Magic.
Are you there?
Am I still there?
Yeah, Buckle hasn't left.
Oh.
Magic?
Yeah.
Who's magic?
Oh, well, this fairy did
No, oh, yeah.
come out of the wood, and I know how that sounds.
That does not surprise me.
Peas Blossom
Yes,
lands in a heap next to you on the wheel and says, "It doth surprise me."
Bowen shrieks
Oh.
and jumps back.
And I also come up. Yeah.
Yes,
At that point, hearing fairy sprite, that sort of thing, I'm gonna pop up.
'Twas like this, yet not like this. They did say they were a fairy from Queen Titania.
Ooh.
From the Autumn Court. It is as we did suspect, Master. The natives are around here, sure, I know it.
Is that a bad thing? Would it have been bad if someone accepted help from them?
What meanest thou, Yori?
Nothing. I'm just asking. Would that be bad if that had happened?
Buckle just looks blankly at Bowen and Caliban and Peas Blossom's facial reactions. Buckle's just like,
Well, thou lookest not poorly. Thou hast not had ears of a donkey placed on thee. When thou speakest, I hear no bird song. It doth not seem a jape hath been played on thee. What gift were it that were given thee, and who were it that gave it?
'Twas a gift to give me more control over the chaos magic of the ship.
And this fairy, did they say their name?
They did. And I definitely remember that.
Winkin,
It was Lincoln.
like Abraham Winkin.
The fairy was called Winkin.
Oh.
Oh no.
Just a no weekend.
Why dost thou react this way?
Winkin. Winkin is known to me. I have some discourse had with her of a time.
Good discourse.
Was the way of course discourse. It were not coarse discourse. Yet she is known to me.
Buckle's like, such romance aboard the ship today.
What? What? What romance dost thou speak of?
Bowen, zone of truth.
Oh no!
Okay.
Area.
Everyone.
Who's making
Yes,
Zones.
it doesn't
Is
rise
it
anymore.
Does it get me?
Never.
It's charisma
I'm downstairs.
saves,
It's the area.
right? I think it's
There you
a
go.
circular area around Barwin, right?
Yeah,
How
it's a
large?
I don't think it is it a sphere? I don't think it's a sphere, is it? Or did it just say?
There's a sphere icon next to it, so I think it
then
is.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Interesting
Wow.
choice.
Well done.
15-foot radius.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, is it charisma save, Barwin?
There is.
I think so. That's why Rav always succeeds on it.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your DC?
15.
15. Okay. Let's find out who has to tell the truth.
Should we roll it to ourselves and then
I
just
think
tell
it'll save.
Barwin?
It'll save time. Yeah. If you message
What's
message.
the? Is it a wisdom save?
It's a charisma save
Charisma.
of 15.
By the way,
Okay.
around this time, Rav comes skipping up from below deck, and
Looks like a
he's
roll.
whistling a happy, merry tune, and he just beelines it to the front of the ship.
Okay, that happens.
So does that mean I have to do a save, or I pass right through the zone of truth, right?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Brenna. Is it just while they're in the area, or is it anyone who was in the area at the time of casting?
A creature that enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts then must make a throw. So I think once they leave the area, they're fine. But if they were in there at any point, then
So you can make one to determine if you had anything to say while you're in the area, if you like, Rav. But I think it seems like you were just running through, so you don't have to worry. But Buckle and Yori for sure, Caliban and Peas Blossom as well.
Wait. Yeah, I sent you my result.
I'm below deck, so I don't think it gets me, but I actually got a 1.
Yeah. So Avery, if you're directly below, you might have to tell the truth if you are talking to anyone.
I think
What
that's
is-
pretty fun.
How long does it last for?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
The spell.
By the way, Rav, as he skips through, goes, the mirror is to collect the tears for lubrication, and keeps skipping.
While everyone's like talking and distracted by that comment,
Yep.
Avery is putting the fish that she caught into Yori's bed.
Oh, poor Yuri.
Also, if anyone was wondering, Rav passed the save.
Yeah. Of course, Rav did.
That's not what the mirror's for.
I haven't got everyone's yet, but
Like, I need to send you Peas Blossoms.
yes. And Buckle, I haven't got yours. Or...
Oh, I have to send it to Adam. I should have sent it to you.
Check on something.
Cool.
Okay. That's Peas Blossoms.
Right. Ooh.
So, yeah, them's the traps. That who has to tell the truth. Only Barwin knows. Able to.
Wow.
All right, that's done. What speakest thou of romance, Barwin? Who on this ship hath romance?
I think it'd be you, Peas Blossom.
You think it
That is
be
awesome.
me?
What is the
Yori like looks at Buckle like.
Yeah, Buckle does the same thing.
Why dost thou think it be me, Barwin?
Just answer the question, good Peas Blossom. Were thou and Winkin engaged in some sort of romantic entanglement?
He's both of us beat red and is just not saying anything.
I love this so much.
I can't wait to see the scene between Adam and Adam with Peas and Lincoln.
I did tell thee, Master, that I had some friendships in the Autumn Court.
Perhaps the entanglement was not romantic and was more physical in nature.
Wait, nay, it were true romance, Buckle. Why sayest oh?
True romance.
Oh, Peas Blossom.
Did not say hello.
Oh,
Friend, we were invisible. Mayhaps she saw not who you were and thought you were some other sprightly fellow.
Mayhap. Although if it were her or some other creature that were taunting us with water to distract us, Master. Oh, I think I know this gambit.
The old bait and splash.
Hey, the winking and blinking.
Oh, Is his name Blinken?
Aye, so
Or
it is.
her
That
name.
is why I said so.
Ah,
Blinken. Blinken, I have less time for than I ever did. He is a brute, a buffoon, hath no honor. I do wish to know how he could see us whilst invisible. That is a trick I should like to learn.
Me too.
So, Blinken, Winken, and you, was that like a triangle situation?
What be a triangle Oh! Dost thou mean that Winkin and Blinken be a situation? Nay, I do hope not. Nay, they are simply knaves of a kind, doing their adventures, following the orders of Queen Titania, going on journeys together, talking to each other, and well, I think not anything of that.
You must tell the truth.
I indeed am. Oh, I think not that it is a romance between them, but I am envious of their friendship and the society that he doth keep with her. Why do I speak? Why, what romance didst thou speak of, Darwin? Wilt thou lie to me? Yori, thou hast experienced romance, is so?
I feel very uncomfortable and think that it was you the attention was on, and do not understand why it is now on me. Peace, Blossom.
No, I must admit, I'm not. I have heard something of the like. Just maybe, perhaps, that could just answer the question, so I could be clear in my mind. Dost thou love Ravelor or not?
Love would be a strong word, but I do like him. I mean, I fancy him a little bit.
Wait. Is Rav within hearing distance?
Rav has a passive perception of 19. He's at the front of the deck. This is like less than 30 feet away.
Rav's head snaps around.
Lewen, you must know I feel most betrayed by this spell thou hast cast on me.
I am so sorry, good Yori. I would not have.
So 'tis not just Padraig who has feelings for Ravelor then.
Okay, Rav's head snaps around the other direction.
Who here else doth have feelings for Ravelor?
I believe Avery also was delivering notes at some stage. So.
Okay, Rav joins the circle. At this point, he just comes over.
Yori is just like beet red and trying to like meld into the wood at this point.
Rav just stares at Yori to Buckle. Wait, is Padraig there or elsewhere?
Padraig's working on a potion below decks.
What is this thou sayest, Buckle and Caliban? For I did know Yori's feelings, but I knew not all aboard the ship were so beswayed with mine charms.
Not all.
Buckle, hast thou not any feelings of romance towards me? For thou hast.
No. I'm. While we're telling the truth, I must admit I'm growing quite jealous of the attention thou art receiving, Ravelor. But I possess no attraction of any sort to you nor anyone else aboard this ship.
Well, I am relieved to hear it, for though I am a generous lover, there is not enough of me to go around, Buckle. Furthermore, if thou art jealous of mine wooing ways, how many times did I offer to take thee under mine wing and to teach thee the ways of wooing?
I believe what I needed to see was results.
Well, since we are all at the business of truth-telling, Barwin, Caliban, Peaseblossom, Dost thou, each one of you, also harbor feelings for me? I should know it now, for we could have an orgy here and be done with it.
Nay.
That's
None.
gross. Yeah.
Hey, I mean not to shame orgying ways, but it is not a thing that I should partake of with thee, nor in any of thee. No offense is intended to your persons.
And none more feelings than would befit a friendly friendship.
Ah, so an orgy with masks then, for that is the way I do with my friends.
Avalar, art thou certain thou hast never been to the Feywild?
I know not. Mayhaps
think
I
you would-
have, for I have been many a place.
I think you would find excellent company there.
Well, I must say, I do like the sounds of the people there.
Didst thou say that Avery left a note for Ravelor?
Aye, back to this, Caliban. What of it?
Well, as
Was
I
it
was.
this note? I pull out the note from El.
I did not read it, but let me have a look at it for a second.
Nay, Yori, that's the note that thine own hand did craft for me.
Which was not my hand.
This was certainly written by an elf. The lettering is most elfin in nature.
That's
I know.
just rude.
No, I'm an expert in such things. And
Just because I'm a halfling doesn't mean I can't write well.
no, your letters would be nice and stubby and just kind of more stubbed fingers. Yes. No, this is truly.
My fingers are in proportion to my body.
But not in proportion to the most pens.
I do not like thee right now.
Fair enough.
Master, what dost thou think of my writing? My fingers be smaller still.
But you used a little quill.
Why can't I use a little quill?
I don't know. Have you got a little quill?
Of course I have a little quill.
Well, then you.
We had to move on quite quickly from the very, very visitor and the new magic upon the ship.
Barwin, you know
Little
your
Quill's
magic
a
is
good
running dry
nickname,
soon.
though, isn't it? Little Quill. Yes, look, this seems to be the same letter that I saw Avery delivering. As I did dry my feathers underneath the deck.
Well, what thou dost with thy underneath feathers be not something we asked of thee, Caliban. But dost thou mean to tell me that I hath won somehow, with mine unworthy hand, the affection of Yori, Avery, and Padraig?
It boggles the mind, but yes.
Didst thou hear that, foul wooden ship? Who wields a banner of unlovedness now, ship?
And from the front of the ship, there is naught but a resounding silence. And I think that's a good place for us to take a break. It is 9:05. Good lord.
So good.
Thank you.
Is the
Thank
ship
you all for
okay?
that.
Who cares? I need it.
What an arc. Okay, we will click over to taking a break. We'll take about 10 minutes, so 9:15 for those of you watching and in the chat. We'll be back right on that time to figure out what else befalls the Headless Marys after the Zone of Truth declines. We will be back shortly. Welcome back. Yeah, you just got a good one. Welcome back to Bardic Inspiration. We pick up again with the Headless Marys, having just survived a very productive casting of Zone of Truth. Is that a first or a second level spell, Brenna?
Second, I think.
Yeah, okay. Worth it. I
Yeah.
would say. Good use of that spell slot. The truth will out, and so it has. We've learned some things about the dynamics at foot here, including Yori having taken a bit of a fancy to Rav in spite of her better judgment and explicit statements to the contrary. The group is under the impression, thanks to Buckle's interpretation of things, that Padraig is also in love with Rav. Padraig has not commented either way on this, as Padraig was not present. What else? Oh, we got that Peas Blossom had a bit of a romantic entanglement of its own with Winkin of the Autumn Court, a sprite who just spoke to Yori earlier in the session and gave you all a bit of a gift, improvement to your ship. That is where we are. Barwin, your zone of truth has expired. That was quite a productive 10 minutes, though. I think it was just about 10 minutes of real time we gave it, because it was all talk in that.
Misses when Padraig comes out.
letting your ingredients simmer.
Yeah, with a tray of mushrooms. Padraig comes out.
Does everyone just turn and look at Padraig?
Yeah.
When Padraig turns and looks at the camera and goes,
Except Rav. Rav is still busy hurling insults at the now quiet ship.
That's right, yeah. You want to give us a sampling of what Rav is shouting?
Ah, quiet now, aren't thou? When thou hast naught to say, for thou hast been proven a coward. Silent coward thou art, an empty, dull husk of an opponent, for I have none of thee.
What are you staring at when you do that?
The donkey head, I think.
Yeah.
No, I meant in real life.
Oh,
Your eyes went to the left.
my partner.
R.I.P. Yeah, the donkey's head in front of you is still silent. You don't notice any more sort of comical drawings appearing in the wood grain.
Do you think that the ship could see you doing your crying wanking? Can the ship see us do everything?
Oh,
That's just a
gross.
question. Yeah, I know. But I didn't do it. I'm just wondering.
I didn't do it. I was just wondering what it sounded like.
Wow. Future reference, I guess.
This is actually why the ship's quiet.
Just to stab.
Just distraught.
Yeah.
To live is to suffer.
I'll tell you what, the ship knows what the mirror was really for.
It is now the ship of Sisyphus.
So good.
Yep, as I said before, there's only one creature who can answer that question. And that's who you
And
They're silent.
is a silent coward. Rav turns back to the others triumphant and goes, "Ha! I have bested him once and for all. I shall do what I tried to do before and succeeded not at." And Rav unzips his pants and takes a piss on the donkey face.
So I'm assuming, Rav, that you had to, in order to accomplish this, you would need to climb up onto the prow of the ship as before, because gravity and also your ship is moving.
While that happens, Yori's just gonna slink downstairs in shame.
I just want to roll for initiative.
So I take it Barwin is taking the helm in Yori's absence. Okay. Rav, you get up and you do your business, standing up on the prow of the ship. I'd like for you to just make a basic dexterity check or acrobatics, if you like, because this is a feat of balance. No uncomplicated thing to stand on the prow of a ship and pee forward onto its hood ornament while it is sailing downriver.
Wait, does that mean the donkey's face is always facing out? Like, how have I yelled at it before?
Well, it could still hear you, and it turns around sometimes.
But wasn't there like an engraving somewhere accessible?
Sometimes, at a few different times, the donkey's head has appeared in the steering wheel and harangued Yori. It always seems to be Yori at the wheel when this happens.
Pee on the steering wheel.
So what did you roll for your dex or acrobatics check, Rav?
So is my dex under saving throws?
No, that would be a saving. So if something happened to you, I might make you make a dex save to see how you deal with it. This is an ability check. So you're rolling a d20, adding your dexterity modifier, and you can do, if you're proficient in acrobatics, then you can make that check.
I'm not. Can I still make acrobatics? Because
it's the same. It's the same as a basic dex check, because that's just your dexterity modifier. Although actually, because you're a bard, it's a bit better than a basic dex check. You get to add half your proficiency bonus to all jack of all trades. So yeah, make an acrobatics check. So the short version of all that. And fortunately, was the number you needed. You're not under duress. It is just a matter of getting your balance, holding on to some rigging or something close there, and then starting to pee. And Rev, you let fly. Not too windy. Urine just spatters on the back of this hood ornament's head, and then drips into the water below.
As he pees on it, Rav goes, "Haha, thou might be the donkey's head, but I the tail, and yet thou hast the urine on thine face."
Padraig rolls for initiative.
Rav, make a dexterity saving throw.
Yes, I knew I could provoke him. Oh, great. That's the d20 plus 6 for me.
I'm gonna just let him go this time.
Sounds like there's 3 people on board who won't.
Pretty good. Rav, everything is still on the ship. There are no waves on the river. And suddenly you feel the planks that you're standing on of the railing shift beneath your feet. And you fall backwards towards the ship. If we were to imagine it in slow motion, still adjusting yourself for this experience, you're falling backwards, and the jerk of this falling motion has caused the last few drops of your peeing experience to fly up into the air in front of you.
What is happening?
Quick as anything, you actually get your feet down and manage to land without falling or hurting yourself. You do manage to catch a few drops of pee in the headwind.
Look, if you're gonna enter the fight, you're gonna take some punches, you know?
Yeah. But you don't fall into the water, and you don't hurt yourself falling on the ship. You manage then to sort of fight yourself.
Rav brushes himself off, eyes the ship, and goes, "Touche, comrade." He walks off.
Meanwhile, Barwin, you have taken control of the helm, yes?
Yes.
Something feels different. When you grab onto the handholds on either side of the steering wheel, they feel warm, and not just warm as though Yori has just been holding them. It's hotter than that. And for a strange moment, you feel... It's like the feeling you've had if someone has cast a spell on you, but not an aggressive sense. You feel a reaching out, a kind of connection to the ship itself. And it is almost an invitation. What this means mechanically for you, Brenna, is that there is actually a second that has been added to the ship, in addition to the one described to you. It has not had the opportunity to be used yet. If you wish, you may at this point expend spell slots, and the number of spell slots you expend is the number of hours that the ship will drive itself.
Autopilot.
Now, the way that this works, the ship is not going to make sophisticated maneuvers under these conditions. It will basically keep itself safe and continue on its appointed course. To change course, you will need to take over, or someone will have to take over. And to do anything complex, like if you're in combat and you want to about face or like do evasive maneuvers or stuff like that, you'll have to take control again. But this basically allows the ship to stay the course safely.
It's adaptive cruise control.
It is precisely that. You now have a RAV4.
Love it. I love it.
So yeah,
Cool.
what this translates to as far as like Barwin's feeling is like you feel the connection, and then you can sense you can sense the ship taking control of the wheel, so that you can sort of bring your hands back a bit, and then like tap to see that there's this newfound resistance. Would you like to expend any spell slots to do this at this point?
Yeah, I reckon she definitely would at first feeling it. So maybe just probably a first level slot to begin with.
Okay, so you get an hour of this kind of cruise control, as it were.
Cool.
And you feel just like when you're casting Cure Wounds or something like that. It's just that it doesn't have the somatic or verbal components. It's like you grabbing the wheel is enough, and this capability engages, and it's more a matter of you like stopping the flow of power coming out of you, and that in the increments that you wish. And it feels like a rush. It's like that bit when you like look over the edge of a precipice and you feel the first beginning of a fall, and you could give in. You could just like let it pour into there, but you can feel able to stop. And when you take your hands away from the wheel, it just makes very tiny motions back and forth, just like if a pair of hands were guiding it. And the ship keeps its heading. A sudden cross breeze comes and pushes the sail, and the prow starts to move, but then the wheel course corrects. It keeps the pace right in
Cool. Bowen's really pleased. And I think she hasn't had a lot of time to just enjoy being on a boat because she's either asleep or driving or doing other stuff. So she's just gonna. Did you see Rav like pigs on the front of the ship?
I mean, yeah, you were driving when all that was happening, so you saw
It'd be hard to
all
miss.
that. Yeah.
True. So just gonna go close front, but not quite at the front of the ship, and just like look out over the side and watch the fish or try and find fish in the water.
Make a perception
Every now and
check.
again, she's gonna remember. Well, no, she won't. Right now, she's forgotten. Anyway.
Forgotten what? Sorry.
That Elder potentially is out to get it.
Gotcha. You let your guard down for a moment. Sure. Okay. Yeah, Rav, as you're collecting yourself, you see Barwin, who's driving the ship, walk by to the side and just looking pensively. Padraig,
Rav
sorry.
goes to stand next to her. How now, Barwin? Art thou not manning the wheel?
I need not. For some time, it seems. Or there is more magic in this ship than there were yesterday.
Aye, I should say so. And he glances over to where he beat on it.
I do hope that you will treat Yori well and kindly.
Barwin, I know not what to do. For at the start of this day... Wait, is it nighttime?
It's kind of mid to late afternoon.
For at the start of this day, I did reach my lowest moment in a long time. And to now be loved by 3 creatures such as these, I know not what to do with it.
I think thou shouldst enjoy it for what it is, for it is a gift to have this affection for thee. Just treat it carefully and go slow, I guess. As in, watch for how thine actions are being perceived. But I fear that I canst not give you more help than that, for not that thou art not lovable, Ravelor. I did not see the depth of love that thou obviously hast garnered from these others. So Perhaps thou art doing more well than I had given thee credit.
Barwin. Rav gets very serious and like puts a hand on her shoulder. Thou must needs promise me thou wilt never fall in love with me.
I will do this for thee, Ravelor.
Thou art a brave woman to undertake such a task.
Her fingers are like gripping the side of the ship.
But Barwin, dost thou not remember the last time I did take more than one lover?
Yes, I do. And they weren't siblings.
Indeed, and are we here aboard this ship not a family of sorts?
Aye.
Therefore I know not how to proceed in a manner that would not rend my family in half.
Who dost thine have love for in a reciprocal fashion? Any of them?
Aye, all of them indeed. For thou knowst I partake not in the monopoly of loves, in the monogamy of sexual partners. 'Tis not in my nature.
Well, that is one of thine goodly qualities, Ravelor, but thou then must a conversation have with each of the three. So that each of them gets the opportunity to make their own decisions.
Aye, but Barwin, what if my raw animal sexual magnetism takes over? I know not how to converse only with those who do want me as I them.
That is a quandary. Perhaps thou couldst tie thyself to a chair.
Nay,
or have
for
someone
that-
tie thee to it first, and then have the conversation.
Nay, Barwin, for that is one of my kinks. But I shall endeavor to restrain myself, for I did have not one but two sad wanks today, and therefore am perhaps equipped to undertake such an endeavor.
Is a sad wank different to a cry wank?
Nay, they are the same thing.
Oh, sad one.
Then perhaps time is of the essence. You should have this conversation while that's still...
Wait, I want to hear the rest of that sentence.
Time, while the still is of advantage to thee. So get thee to a chair, and if thou needs it, I can tie a knot well. And then I would leave the room before thou hast thine conversations.
I thank thee greatly, Barwin. And if thou would meet me in mine chambers in 10 minutes, I should make use of thy kind offer.
I shall fetch mine henpin rope.
And Ravelor goes to find Caliban and asks Caliban to send Padraig to his chamber in 10 minutes.
No.
And then Rav goes, Caliban, and he puts a hand on his shoulder. Thou must promise me thou wilt never fall in love with me.
And then I just say, your hand is on Peace Blossom.
Who becomes visible quickly and is like, enough, Ravelor. I am not one of these that dotes upon thee.
I thank thee for it, Peas Blossom.
I
For
thank me for it too.
under normal circumstances, I would be most flattered, but now my cup runneth over.
Well, very well. See you later.
I would like to note for everyone present, Caliban did not promise, so that's interesting.
No, well, actually, when Peace Blossom spoke, he was speaking for the both of us.
Okay.
Oh, how that would hold up in fairy court.
Yeah.
So do you go?
They
do you
have
go
no
to,
jurisdiction. Yeah.
Do you go to Padraig's room yourself, Rav, or do you leave that be?
Padraig, are you still in your room?
Has it been 4 hours?
Since you started working on your potion?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay, great. I mean, it could. Yeah. Okay, great. Cool. So Padraig's just finished bottling his potion, and then heads outside for some fresh air. Oh, what a day of success! Sun beameth on my face, and I feel delightful. He's gonna skip in his step, and he rocks upstairs. It's like, where is everyone?
When you walk up there, Padraig, you see an empty wheel, and Barwin standing off in the front looking out. The ship is just going. Who else is above decks? I don't know. I think Avery slunk off below.
I think Buckle's still there somewhere.
Buckle's up there as well. Yeah, that's what you see when you go up there, Padraig.
Egad, Barwin, Yori, who is taking the wheel? Padraig gets ready to thorn whip the wheel.
It is in good hands. The ship is guiding itself.
Nay, there are no hands on it.
It is a magic
Magic.
hand.
Magic did it.
Padraig puts away his stuff.
I must needs now go and fetch my rope. Goodbye. And walks down.
I shall not ask questions. Padraig just walking to the front of the ship. It is a good day when the ship is visible.
Yeah,
And
Padraig,
breathes
you
the
notice.
fresh air and goes, that oddly smells like urine.
You look forward, smelling that urine, Padraig. You see the ship hood ornament is there, but something's different. Hard to pinpoint, and you realize that the usually stationary ship hood ornament head, the ears, which are normally sort of up forward and at odd angles, are both drooping still.
Don't feel pity on the ship.
Mean wooden ass. 'Twould seem you have learnt your lesson, I thought so.
I have had several teachers this day. Hast thou come to triple your double lesson?
Nay. I see the bitter taste of defeat just linger on your tongue, and I shall not add some more.
What dost thou know of trees?
Trees? Well, and then Padraig just starts listing trees that he knows. Japanese maple.
The what now?
Just starts listing all the trees that he knows off the top of his head. 4 hours later,
When you are doing your list, Padraig, the ears change at one of them. When you say Rowan, the ears jerk and then go back. There.
Wooden ship. Thou didst respond to one tree. I can't remember which one it was. So Padraig starts listing them all again.
And again, when you get to Rowan, the ears jump.
Rowan. You just keep popping up.
Yeah, the first time you do it, they sort of twitch in response, and then you keep doing it, and they sort of don't react, and then the voice from the hood ornament says, I know that one well.
Why dost thou have such a history with it?
Why, that history is writ beneath thy feet, before thy hands.
This tree is this ship is made of Rowan wood.
The very same.
Would Padraig know that these trees are special in any way?
Make a nature check. 15.
15.
So there are lots of different associations between plants and deeper meanings, and also their usages. And Padraig, you know a lot of these things. So this is why you're able to make potions and stuff like that. There's also a fair bit of lore attached to certain kinds of trees and roots and stuff like that, and they have ritual significance. They have magical properties. Some they're significant in spiritual events. Rowan is the kind of tree you would have heard of that is often associated with Fey magic in particular, but magic in general. It is something that is often used to ward off fairies. But yeah, the exact reasons for that are hard to say. It's just like it's a thing that's come up in stories before that you would have heard from all your siblings and your family in the Forest of Argen. Rowan is a tree that kind of comes up a fair bit in those stories.
Cool. Do I know if there's do they are they specific to an area? Like, is it?
They're all over, but there were a fair few in the Forest of Argen where you grew up, and some significant trees as well that were Rowan.
Sure.
Yeah, they're not grown frequently and like commercially, so to speak. So like you wouldn't have, if you went up towards Peakwatch, saw where all those trees were getting grown and harvested for lumber, like those probably wouldn't be Rowans, it'd be oak and pine and stuff like that. But,
Rowan. Thou art made of Rowan trees. It is a beautiful tree, I do remember.
It is a beautiful prison.
A prison?
Aye, a jail.
The tree
Just down
itself
the
is
words.
prison? The tree itself is prison? And who be its warden?
Why, in this case, I, its warden, its inmate, one and the same.
Me would think that such a beautiful tree would be a great place to reside, eh?
How beauteous would a prison need to be that you could abide it forever?
Wouldst thou like to be set free? Is this what you are asking? I would not know how. If I could axe it, aye. Would you like me to get an axe? I worry.
Hey, abuse not my boards, such as they are of mine. It would be foolish to ask such of thee. I know you cannot grant it. I am here by the command of a power greater than you can understand, and I expect here I shall remain.
I may not understand it, but I could try. Who keeps you here?
Why, he who did gift this ship to thee.
Padraig was there, wasn't he?
Yep.
So, you know,
Yeah.
Oberon, right?
So yeah, it was Oberon who made it, and it was Robin who gave it to you. Gave it to Caliban. Defeated Hamilton.
Aye, so... But they are good folk. Oh, why wouldst thou not... Why wouldst thou not be okay with this?
Good folk and a good fellow.
Aye.
They have
Robin
their
is
reasons.
a good fellow by name.
I have been hither put for services rendered. Some of my services a disservice were judged, so here I am to be judged in consequence thereof.
Why art thou so bitter?
Why? Perchance could it be that you were put here for your evil tongue? Could this be not punishment?
Well then, I suppose you think it just.
Hast thou been an ass for ever?
I have been an ass.
Who wast thou before you? Were you of another sort before you were a ship? Before you were a tree?
Aye.
And goes by what name?
Make a persuasion check, Padraig.
Porn whip the shit out of you and make it into intimidation. That's alright. Persuasion, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay. Okay. I was indeed of another sort. I did the Twilight Realm first walk. Some piece of my sort, thither still roams. I am cloven from him, hither kept. For my safety, for ours, and I suppose for his. He who remains behind, untouched. Suppose it is for him I bear it the most.
Canst thou drop names? Or
There are some
Now,
names
which
that we keep to ourselves, Padraig. But a name you might have known me by, had you had the chance to know. Were Puck.
Aye. Well, Puck, if we should meet again, be it at the be it due to the steering of the wheel, and perchance you may trust me a little more and give me more information. For if you will not, I know not how to help thee. I know not if I should help thee.
That is the wiser response. After all, thou art speaking to one imprisoned, who might say anything, see themselves freed. Perhaps thou shouldst follow that course. Have no more truck with me, other than, of course, the occasional errant pea.
Padraig grabs a little bit of lemon myrtle and was like, and places it on the masthead. I was like, as I have shown, I know much of trees. So here's a little of what I have to offer as a peace offering. And let us not battle again.
Very well. Thank you, Padraig.
I thank you. Padraig leaves and looks for Rav.
Is lemon myrtle a tree?
No, it's a herb. It's like
I was gonna say you just
it's
left like a severed finger of a tree on it.
Padraig looks for Rav. And Ravelor, what does that do to the ship?
Come in, Padraig. For I have not the means to let thee in myself.
Oh my god, this is just so good. So funny.
Padraig opens. I'm assuming you're downstairs. Padraig opens
cabin.
the door. Opens the door to the cabin.
What does Padraig see, Rav?
You will see Rav tied to a chair in a corner of the room, looking pensive.
Okay.
Ravelor, are thou okay? Has someone captured thee? And be there pirates on this ship?
Aye, Padraig, for my heart hath been pirated.
Who struck thee?
Cupid hath struck me, Padraig. Cupid hath struck me thrice.
Who
For
be
he
this
hath a
Cupid?
bow more sure and true than Caliban's even.
Where be this Cupid? For I could thorn whip it sideways if I see them.
I would do the same. If I could but find this mischievous little sprite called Cupid, I should thorn whip him for what he has made me do to thee now.
To me? Now?
Indeed. Take a seat, Padraig.
Padraig looks around. Are there any other seats? Or you're the only one?
Just my bed.
Padraig sits down.
Padraig, thou knowst that thy friendship means the world to me.
Thine friendship means the world to I.
And I would do naught to jeopardize it.
Good.
And though, I must admit, the tension between us is thick and taut,
Tension? What?
ropey and strong.
Tension? Tension?
Indeed, Padraig, thou canst deny it any longer, for I know the truth of it.
Did I?
I heard it above deck in the zone of truth.
I was not on deck.
Padraig, if mine hands were untied, I would use one to caress thy sweet furry face, and the other to gently press to your lips, like so, to stop thy protestations and lies, for I know it all.
No, what? Did you wish me to untie thee?
Aye, but I can't have thee do it, for I respect thee too much to subject thee to a happy wank, which is like a cry wank. Only much, much worse.
Padraig. Happy wank. Padraig is flustered and no, because I don't know what is happening. You speak in tongues. I shall untie thee. And
Nay.
goes over to Rav and starts to like go over him and try to untie.
And Rav uses his feet to like push off your chest. Keep you away. Stay back, Padraig.
Why?
Dost thou not remember Lucas? Dost thou not remember what's her name?
I remember both of them.
Aye, Padraig. Dost thou not remember that the opinions they have of me? I hurt people, Padraig. I'm a monster.
Avalon. Nay. You are a monster.
Oh my god.
You are a fine sword. Nay. You do questionable acts at times, but a monster. Nay, you are not. We have slain many, and I would ne'er slay thee.
I'm Ravlor. Ravlor looks stricken and goes, "Thou dost slay me even now." And he stands up, still attached to his chair, runs over and just plants a big kiss on Padraig's mouth.
So Padraig,
Padraig-
you have ample time to see this coming. Yeah, how does Padraig react?
Padraig sees this coming and sees Revelor's lips pucker, and he starts to like panic and starts getting a bit sweaty. And Padraig, no, and turns into a chicken.
Yes.
Turns into a chicken and starts flapping about. And then is the door still open?
I presume. Yeah.
Yeah, with the door still open, Padraig flies out of the room into his own, and then like a wild shapes out back into Padraig. No, I did not. I is feeling. Just starts vomiting, vomiting, and like goes into bed and just pulls the blanket over the top of him, and just like crawls into a fetal position, going no.
Standing in his own doorway, tied to a chair, Rav just goes, I think that went well.
That's where we'll leave Rav, standing, I'm assuming like bent 90 degrees in this chair.
Yeah, it's like kind of half hobbling.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Padraig, was this was like brushing feathers? Is this like that's what the
Oh no, just like the feeling, like so the feathers. I mean, there must be still feathers around because it was pretty flustered. But just like the feeling of wild shape, the feeling of that transformation. Just it's the noise.
Yeah, there's some.
Yeah, that's a bad noise.
I think it was coming. Here.
Yeah, just like did not like the feeling of that. Doesn't like. Yeah, Padraig recognizes that feeling, irks him, and he's just trying to forget it. Just trying to forget it ever happened.
Okay. So Padraig is huddled up under the bedclothes there, Rav tied to a chair. Up above, on the deck, we have, I believe, a buckle and a Barwin. Or Barwin went below to tie Rav off, but would have come back up. I presume.
Back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barwin, as you were coming back up, like coming out of having tied Rav up, and then as you're about to go up the stairs, you hear something really quickly, just like the slightest scratching sound.
Yeah.
And then it stops.
Owen looks around. Are any of the doors open? If there are any open, she slams them shut.
Your bedroom door is open.
Okay, she slams it shut.
Okay, and then you keep walking.
Yeah, then she just keeps going up.
Okay. Then you go up and see a buckle and the ship steering itself. Avery is below decks. Is that right?
Yep.
Where
Yeah.
below decks, or do we not get to know?
Is Yori in bed?
Yeah.
Then you're with a fish.
That's right.
Yeah, I was waiting for her to find the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yori, when you go downstairs at some point, you go in to get in your bed, and find that there is a fish against your leg. First, just a cold, clammy, sort of damp feeling. It's rough.
Yori is too humiliated from the day to really care. She just picks up the fish and puts it on the ground beside her, and then like gets back into bed and rolls over. And she just stares at the wall, eyes wide. Catatonic.
Barwin and Buckle, you're both above decks, so you can see that over the course of the day, it's been relatively cloudy. You've really and truly begun to leave the swamplands behind, the kind of miry regions where you encountered these mudfish, and then the skeletal lord, and then the Gorin and his compatriots. The river is becoming a bit less windy, and seems to have taken a more broadly southern direction. Pretty wide again here as it was before near Twin Rivers. And you also, at this point in the distance, begin to see other vessels. You pointedly have not in the swamp area. There were some in the area of Twin Rivers, and then they sort of, after you saw that large raft, you haven't really encountered any other vessels, but you can see some up ahead, which are moving slower than you and you're kind of catching up to. There's a couple on your left side near the far bank that are kind of long, narrow canoes with sort of broader, like side canoes attached to them that are laden with goods, and a couple of people paddling. Looks like hay, fish, stuff like that, going from small docks and sort of drifting along downstream, taking their time, seeming pretty unperturbed by things.
Buckle kind of rolls his sleeves up and kind of poses what he thinks is alluringly. Doesn't say anything, just to see if the passing ships look at him.
Make a charisma check, Buckle. It depends on how. I mean, it's probably the same roll no matter what. Is Buckle proficient in any of the charismatic arts?
Not one.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So just make a basic charisma check, which I'm presuming is -1 or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what a journey. 13. Buckle, you take this pose near the front of the ship, I'm assuming, in your recently modified armor. You do notice, out of the corner of your eye, that a couple of people are pointing in your direction. If you care to take a little bit of a closer look, two of them in one of the canoes.
I'm also in the crow's nest at this point, so
Okay.
if I can see their mouths, I can actually read their lips.
That's true. Okay, Buckle, what you will see is just two of them pointing and gesturing at each other. They're not pointing at you though, Buckle. They're pointing at the ship, and one of them is sort of pointing at the very front, which it seems like they're pointing at you.
Yeah.
But they don't make any kind of eye contact with you, and they're far enough away that it's kind of hard to tell. But then they like each other, and then they point up, crow's nest, and then over. It's hard to make out what they're saying. Caliban.
Buckle is profoundly flattered.
Nice. Caliban, you can look over. Actually, make a perception check. Depending on how high you roll, that'll be how well you. Because you're far enough away that lip reading is pretty tough.
Okay. Oops.
$17. Pretty good. Okay. But you can see, it looks like the sun catches them just so that you can actually see their faces decently enough. And one of them sort of is pointing forward towards where Buckle is and says, "Is that a donkey?"
Okay.
You can't hear, but imagine that's what that would be like. And then the other...
Yeah, I'm gonna tell the accent.
Yeah, the other seems to say, "Oh, so it is Michael." Why is there a doctor on top in the crow's nest? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps he's doing some medicine up there, he is. And that's what you get, 17.
I might just call out to them, make sure you clean your teeth.
That Caliban's own dentist.
Yeah, I don't have a dentist because I don't have teeth. Yeah. But it's something that I heard when I was a lad.
The perfect mimicry of this. They seem stunned by this and sort of look at each other really quickly. And then if you're continuing to check, you can see that one of them says, you see a town crier, doctor? I never seen such in my life. And then you kind of drift past view of them.
Well, we gave them something to talk about when they get home.
You are making towards sunset, I would say. You will see one of the first villages or towns of any description that you've seen since before the swamp. And there's kind of a hamlet off to the left, I would say, that has a rather larger dock than any of the smaller bits and bobs. It isn't just like a single house for storing fishing gear or supplies or boats. There's a handful of smaller dwellings, and you can see some smoke coming up from chimneys. There's a handful of folks going around a well that's kind of in the central area of it. There's a couple of kids of various descriptions running around near the dock area, and one of them kind of comes up to the front and waves at your ship as you're going by. Looks like a little halfling kid.
No, I'm just kidding.
This one
Hey, can I also do a perception check behind us? Just to see whether we're being followed again?
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm paranoid. Oh yeah, that's great.
Nailed it. Yep, no telltale plume of smoke. You don't see any sign of the spaniel on your tail. Yep, seems clear. You do see a couple of other of these smaller boats, especially now that you're sort of passing a small village. There's a couple of smaller rafts that seem to be using longer poles to sort of push themselves upstream a bit and then paddle across and let the stream take them a little bit forward, and then they land on the other side where there seems to be another smaller landing dock, and there's some people with carts who are wheeling up along a path to that dock, and they're loading some goods onto those rafts, and then the raft pushes off the drift back. This is all happening behind you now. Over to the other side, and you can hear on one of the rafts there's an adult and a small child who seems to be just kind of tagging along with the adult, and the kid lets out a bit of a loud yelp as their raft goes over the wake of your ship, but it's like a fun, they're having fun.
A fun yelp.
Yeah. The sun will be setting shortly on this, what I believe is the 17th of Peas Blossom. You actually only had 2 days left on your journey earlier.
Yeah.
Ryan, I know you said 3. But
I'm so glad to hear that.
To correct you then. Yeah, I'm sure it's been a long journey. Which does
I've been on a boat for a long time.
Yeah, you have been. You've been sailing for a good while. So it's a 2-day trek.
We still have so much to settle.
depending on your next roll, I suppose. It is a 2-day trip. I think this is probably a natural closing point. We're at around 10:12. It's okay if we wrap up a little bit early, I think. We'll pick up here in the evening of the 17th of Peas Blossom in our next session in 2 weeks' time. However, we will return next week to see the Magical Cane Band pick up where they left off last week. So if you're watching, please do tune in for that, and you can get caught up on those episodes as well as the Headless Marys and watch an intro video for both troops here on YouTube at our channel. You can also follow us on Twitter and TikTok for updates and other tomfoolery that we get up to on those things.
Yeah, check out the Magical Cane Band's iteration of someone casting surprise magic as a response to an unwanted kiss. See who did it better.
Yeah, thematic, right? It's thematic.
Look, clearly we have patterns. Kiss and kill, we say in improvised Shakespeare. I should say, take this opportunity to say thank you to a few folks. Thank you to Matt Day, who designed Rollcast, the platform we use for streaming here that helps us use these these virtual dice and to see and hear each other. Thank you as well to Eric Matthias, whose amazing music you're hearing in the background for these sessions. Go to soundimage.org to hear more of those. It is provided all free to streamers, which is really wonderful. I can't express enough. You can and should also pay for a subscription or to get a license to use. I highly recommend it. It's worth it. So I should also say thank you to those of you who've been watching in the stream, and if you're joining us later for your Sunday or other day, thank you very much for that. And also, thank you to all of our players who have just rolled for initiative for the next forever, I think. That 246.
That'll just be
Okay.
a couple of natural ones in there.
Caliban's going first forever, surprising no one. And we'll close off by echoing all of that in Shakespeare's words and saying thanks, and more thanks. See you next week. Bye.
Exeunt.
We'll find